Greetings, developers, metaverse architects, and hackathon participants. So happy to see you guys today and be here with you for the final workshop of the Moralis Cross Cronos Metaverse Gaming Hackathon. We were talking today a bit about internally about, what is Web3? What is the heart of Web3? And the heart of Web3 is digital ownership. And what's so exciting about a hackathon event like this one is we get to truly cultivate digital ownership with the dApps that we create and introduce a new type of ownership which crosses all boundaries and covers the entire world. So after that little tidbit here, I want to welcome Kewan, one of our gaming developers, to the stage here. He's going to go over some tips, concepts, tricks for developing our games, and we're really going to break it down to some of the basics and like, why do we develop games the way that we do in Web3, and what are we trying to illustrate and exalt through our dApp development. Kewan, thank you for joining us.
Hey, hello.
For the stream.
Hello. Nice to be here, Phil. Thanks. Yeah, we're going to talk about most of the time about wallet game design, right? So not what kind of wallets there are, but what is the best way to introduce wallets to your users and have them connected to your game. There's so many options and so many things to discuss there. So yeah, we're going to have a great talk about it, right?
Perfect.
Yeah, cool. Let me share my screen here. And I'll do a short introduction of myself here. Share screen.
Okay.
Cool.
And there we are.
I'll make it a bit bigger. Nice. That's better. Yeah, so I'm a Web3 game developer working at Moralis. Worked a lot with the Web3 game kit we provide, where you can easily connect your game in Unity right now on multiple platforms, even on WebGL. So that's cool. Working for like 5 months now. Love it here, having a great time, and I did a lot of research on the best way you can integrate Web3 in your game. So let's have a look here. So it's very important that you pick the right solution for your game, or else you're going to have a hard time to be successful here. And there are so many options, but the whole ecosystem isn't too user-friendly currently. And if you think about the whole influx of Web2 gamers coming to Web3 in the near future, they don't have knowledge about Web3, right? They need to learn a lot of stuff before they can all use it. But if you're developing a game for a community that has NFTs, for example, and they're already well known with Web3 stuff, there's better options to pick then. But you need to think about that. So think about, where are users coming from? Are they coming from Web3 background or have no knowledge at all? And they need a lot learning there. And it could be a barrier for them to play your game. So let's have a look here.
If we think about that, Kewan, just practically, it's totally true that so nobody cares about a wallet until they have assets. And you can think about that even in the real world. If you had no money, you'd have no use for a wallet. Well, it's the same in Web3. Yeah. Until you have an asset that you value, you don't need a wallet. And since we're onboarding users oftentimes to games before they have any assets that maybe they're going to earn in game somehow, or by competing with another player or what have you, we actually need to make that accessing your wallet for the very first time experience super seamless. It sounds like, because otherwise, why would you bother with the steps?
Yeah, for sure. And this is one of the what this slide also explains. It's exactly the same. So most players want to play the game first, and if they like it and they get things out of the game, then they need a wallet, right? For Web2 gamers getting into the space, this is going to be, if you do it the other way around, you need to set up all the things first. They have a hard time. There's a hard barrier there. They won't have fun right away. Just look back at your own journey, right? Learning all the Web3 stuff, making all the backups there. How does this work? Is this safe? Is this secure? How do I do all this? It's pretty tough, right? So making that easier for Web2 gamers is a good point. And ownership then is a good incentive to get a wallet, right? So, oh man, I earned this stuff now. How can I get a wallet right now so I can put it in my own wallet? And you learn along the ways that you maybe can sell it on a different platform like OpenSea, your NFT, or different kind of marketplaces right there, right? So I think this is a very good point to make. So don't think only about people that already know how Web3 works, but also think about how you can introduce a player to Web3. So that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, let's move on. Let's explore the three most known wallet solutions out there. We'll start with our own solution we provide in a Web3 game kit, and I'll just show my screen here and start up a game tutorial our colleague David Pradell made that showcases how you could use this. So if you can let me start up my screen here,
I'll switch.
it showcases how you could use this. So if you can let me start up my screen here, showcases how you could use this. So if you can let me start. Do you hear that sound, Philip? Showcases.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an echo. I'm not sure. Are you in gather.town? That can sometimes.
Do you hear that sound, Philip? Showcases.
Yeah, there's a little bit of an echo. I'm not sure. Are you in gather.town? That can.
Never leave your YouTube stream open in the background, guys.
There you go.
Yeah,
that'll do it every time. Well,
Let's
that's no problem. That's how you know for sure that this is live.
Yeah. Let's see.
But as you were, Kewan.
No, so I'm going to start up the game. So I think you can share my screen again. Or should I first? Wait, let's do this again. Share my first screen here. And then open up the game.
All right.
Yeah, you can see it right now, right?
Yes, sir.
So this is a cool, you can even watch this tutorial on YouTube, how you can build this yourself. It's David Pradell, or a colleague, made this. It's very awesome. But we're just showing how you could connect, right? So at this point, you start the game and the users want to connect and they can scan a QR code. So this is the first wallet solution here. And in this solution, actually, the user needs a mobile app to scan the QR code, right? I don't know if there's any Chrome extension that lets you scan QR codes, but I don't know of any. So I'm opening.
Not in this way. So
no, right.
For any user who's watching along and saying, "Oh, I did see an option to scan a QR code with the browser extension," that's only when adding certain types of hardware wallets. So whenever you see this, and I think I'm probably getting ahead of what Kewan's about to present here.
No problem.
Typically, is a wallet connect type of solution where you're using the function of wallet connect to connect your wallet to the dApp.
Yeah. So this is all based on Wallet Connect. This QR code is a Wallet Connect QR code, of course. So that's the underlying system here. So I'm going to scan this QR code. And if you watch our tutorials, have seen this many times. I'm allowing the connection and signing it so we can log in here. And then you're logged in. This is, this is a pretty neat way to connect your wallet. So I'll stop. Well, let's a little look here. So you can do all that kind of stuff in here. And transactions. So any transaction that happens now will be sent to your mobile device, and you need to sign and connect or allow the transaction there. Let's stop this for now. And move this back. Share here. Okay. That's better, right? Yeah, so let's look at the pros and cons of this solution, because it's cool that it works on all platforms. And what we mean with that is it works on desktop, on WebGL, if you build it to WebGL, for example. It even works on mobile, but yeah, how do you then scan the QR code, right? It's a bit of a problem there. Xbox, all the kind of stuff, it works. That's cool. Players can sign and send transactions from their mobile wallet, so that's a pretty cool, interesting way. So you got a real-time connection there. Creating a player account for the player is optional. I think I still, as a game designer, would do it because you need to store some information, but you could do without, right? It's just you're using your wallet as a player account. So that's cool. The cons of this are pretty harsh. Please, the first time a user enters this space, they need and choose a wallet, install it in their mobile device, right? It's a big hurdle there. So you could point them out and say, okay, just install MetaMask. It's the most well-known, or for another chain, the other most well-known devices. But still, you need to implement the QR code system in your client, right? In your Unity engine or Unreal engine.
Well, and furthermore, Kuhn, you may not want to actually recommend, or I should say, if you're going to recommend to your users that they set up a wallet for the very first time on their mobile device, now that wallet is going to try and teach them a little bit about seed security. But you may want to mention that too, because the last thing that you want is for them to be, or for it to be their very first experience with a Web3 wallet, for them to earn some items that they're very excited about, and then have them never stored the seed phrase securely, so they actually can never access those assets the way that they want to. You almost need to train them on that process, which is definitely a con, because that's difficult to do.
Yeah, and some wallets do it pretty great, right? I think MetaMask does it pretty good. But depending on the wallet they download, right, they're pretty free. So if they download a buggy wallet right there, you have no control over it. And the control over that wallet and how it interacts with your game is part of your game right now, right? It's you don't have full control over it. So yeah, that's a bit scary. And scanning and connecting of the QR code can be buggy, right? I have multiple times that MetaMask won't allow it. It won't connect. The connection got dropped. All kinds of stuff, right? They're working hard on it, but I think the mobile landscape is not as good as the browser extensions right now, right? I think they're leading right now. The web ecosystem is leading the stuff. So we'll get better, but still there are many issues there, and it's not friendly for, of course, for mobile and VR, because how could you ever scan a QR code, right? And there are ways around it. And in VR, it's the same problem. Lots of people are asking, right, how could we use it in VR? They need to walk back to their desktop app, scan it there, right? It's not ideal. You need to take off your headset, and yeah, that's no fun. So yeah, let's move along. So that's the first option. That's the mobile wallet and the in-game QR code scanning. This one I think is more well known. It's the browser extension. So everybody's got, maybe has traded on OpenSea, or may connect with a DeFi or a DEX or some kind of system, right? And you use your Chrome extension there, or your Brave extension, or what kind of browser you're running. And just having a player account there. So I'm going to show you how that works with, I think one of the cooler projects in the ecosystem, it's Aurori. They have currently a live version of their game running. So I'll open that one. Let's see what, I think I can just pull it up here. So you can see that, right? So the cool thing here is they use WebGL. So all runs in browser, and that's the best solution in this option. I think it's one of the coolest solutions. So I can press play now here, and it just loads on the whole game. It's built in Unity on WebGL. You can see it on the right here. And it's just loading the game, right? So you have two options to connect to this game with your wallet. The first one is just connecting here like you're used to in other kinds of web solutions or websites where you can just connect the wallet. The other thing they did is they have an option in game. So if I go here, I think you can even hear the sound right now. But this is just a little tutorial. So I'm not connected right now. And they made an option, and I think this is very interesting. They made it an option. You can run around here, and if you want to connect your wallet, you can run to this machine, interact with this machine, and then you get an option to connect your wallet right here. So there's something tied from the game to your wallet, right? It feels like you're actually connecting the wallet in game. So I can, right, I'll just move this here so you can see it. Could you stop sharing for a little bit there?
Oh, yes, of course.
Can enter my password more safe.
No worries.
Thanks,
Don't
Phil.
want to dox yourself.
No. Let's use that one.
it's I agree with you as well that when we make the wallet connecting experience part of the game, like maybe you open up a book and that's how you log into your account. If you make that somehow interactive, it allows the user to suspend their disbelief more easily. And that's
Yeah,
what we're going for. When we're creating names, we're producing a narrative and we're
yeah,
producing a story. No matter how simple that story is, you want it to be continuous and
yeah,
immersive. And this
yeah,
helps it be that way.
for sure. And for what to use even more, right? You could integrate it in your story, even if you want to do it as a game designer. You're like, hey, you're playing right now, and you first need to find your Web3 wallet in the game, right? It could be some kind of part of your story. I think that's pretty cool. You can share my screen again, Phil.
All right, here we are.
So I'm connected right now. So you see here, that's my wallet address right here. But it's also knows that I'm connected right here. Of course, they do it with that's also something we provide on our Web3 game kit. If you build for WebGL, it's the same system. So it's now connected. And if you go proceed, you can see that the portal actually opens here. So there's a connection there and you can interact with it. I think that's pretty awesome, right? They right away create an account. So that's the account part right here. And users can use the website to look around in their account. It even makes the game a little pop over here. I think that's great design right there. You can move back and forth between the game. But that's a cool integration there. So you got the power of a game that uses the connection of your wallet directly. And then you have, of course, your website where you can create a marketplace or other kind of stuff. So I'll stop sharing this one now. So let's look at the pros and cons of this system. The pros are, I think Chrome extensions or Brave, just the whole browser extension wallets are far easier to install and connect from a technical standpoint and for the users, because you don't need an extra device. It's a well-known option because other platforms like OpenSea use it, of course. So it's one of the most used options. So if you already have knowledge in the Web3 space, you'll already have some kind of system. And works really well with browser-based games. So that's the WebGL part, or maybe you're building a game in JavaScript here. And it's far easier to integrate than the first option we showed. So it's the technical side, it's far more direct. You don't need a wallet connect session to keep everything connected, right? It's just a JavaScript connection done in your browser. So that's pretty cool. The cons are players, again, need to choose a wallet if they don't have one. So you have still the same problem as the first option, right? They still need to figure out, okay, which one is it? You can point them, of course, to MetaMask and the other default solutions there. You need
one
a
other
website.
advantage that I'm just realizing now that we're not mentioning here is if you are hoping that your users would use a hardware wallet or want that option to be available to them, you might find that hardware wallet integration is most easy with this option. And the only reason for that is because MetaMask supports a wide variety of hardware wallets. But just I thought maybe worth mentioning as well.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's if you want to go that route, this the easiest one. But you also need to think about, do your customers want to use a hardware wallet to connect, right? It's for Web2 users, that's also getting a hardware wallet just to play a game. It's
unlikely that they'll
long
do that.
Long stretch there. But yeah, if you want to be very secure, get one for sure. That's always good advice. You need a website where the player can register, connect, so you can connect there to sign and trade, of course. And mobile browsers not yet fully supported. You got some mobile browsers that have the extension option in there, I think, right now. I don't know which one. Chrome isn't one of those. But yeah, it's not doesn't feel that nice currently. The other thing is, for WebGL, it's very good integrated. But if you go the desktop route, right, and you build some desktop game here, then they need to log on again. So they create an account on the website, and then you need on the desktop side to re-enter their credentials again. And there's no direct connection. So anything they do in this solution, they need to go to the website to actually mint or get an NFT, right? It's in-game is then not possible except if you use the WebGL option like I just showed you. So that's why it's if you go this route, a WebGL makes sense. Cool. Let's move on to the next one. So this is the last one, and I think one of the most interesting ones is you don't expect the user or the player to create a wallet. You create a wallet for the user. This is a more advanced solution, but it also is mine. If I think about this, my mind just goes, what can I do with it, right? So I'll just show you how Gala Games actually does it right now. I'll open this one. So this is Gala Games, one of the big players in this space. You could maybe see them more as a publisher of Web3 games. They build multiple Web3 games and have multiple studios building games. So they have a whole ecosystem. But what they currently do right now, so I love spider tanks. It's yeah, just need to show it so to see how it works. But if you want to play this right now, the first thing you need to do is to create an account. But most Web2 users will already have done this multiple times, right? You have your Steam account or your Epic account or anything you play online. Most of the time, you just need an account. So this is not a big of a hurdle for most Web2 gamers, I think. So you create an account. I won't go through the whole thing, but I'll explain it a little bit. So you create an account here. You get an email. In the email, you need to activate, and then it sends you to the website again, and you get an option to, you want to create a wallet right now, or you just want to play. So you don't even have to create a wallet right away, right? They help you set up the wallet. So nothing to pick. They help you make it secure. You need to write down your passphrase, of course. There's even an option to download your private key to import in your mobile wallet if you want to. So for a Web2 user coming in the Web3 space, it seems pretty friendly. I'll just, if you can, for a short moment, stop sharing, then I will log in here.
Oh, sure thing. When Gala Games was first releasing their test prototypes, I remember spending quite a bit of time on Townstar, which was one of their early test products, and I got to experience what you're talking about firsthand with the wallet creation and things like that. It's certainly, I agree with you. It's the experience that Web 2 users are going to expect, and that gives you a certain strategic advantage. If people who know games, like if you spend every single day playing games, but all you play is Web 2 games, you don't really want a game to come out of nowhere that confuses you because you spend all day playing games. So they're going to really appreciate a developer that takes the time to make the onboarding experience similar to something that they already know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and the big influx of gamers is not going to be Web3 gamers, right? It's going to be Web2 gamers.
Exactly. It's going to be
where everybody who's in this chat right now or listening to this stream, we're so everybody's still so new and we're still so small. If it's going to be a big game, like a big successful Web3 game, and you have a big influx of players, like the big players right now, Minecraft, Fortnite, all that kind of stuff, right? They're all going to learn how this ecosystem works, right? So yeah, you need a good onboarding right there. So yeah, let me start this, right? So I'm logged in right now, and they have created. I already download their starter. So you have you download a little program that sits on your computer, and it, just like Steam or some other software, that just installs the game for you, and you can then run it. So I'm just logged in right now, and it shows me even here, I didn't even set up the wallet, right? I just skipped that part. I just want to play the game. Don't bother me with this stuff right now. I just want to play the game. So if I play the game, it just opens right away, right? There's no barrier. I got a profile right now. I can play all these games. This is cool. This game is always. I think this will be one of the big hits when more people will start playing it. You have a tank, and your tank looks like a spider, and you can change all kinds of stuff here. So it's quite cool. But let's go back here. So the cool part is the wallet creation is all done on their servers, right? Let me click just on here. So you go to some kinds of steps here. This is just I think it's step or 8 that just creates the wallet for you, have it all set up, and it just learns you step by step how it works. But the most cool part is now, as a game designer, you also got control over that same wallet. And let me go back to this one here. So the awesome thing then is that you have a lot of options here. Let's first go to the pros. So the player doesn't need to choose a wallet. The wallet interactions can be done from the backend without the need for player interaction. The only problem there is the gas fees, and we're already thinking about solutions there, how you could mitigate it, maybe offload it to the user in a different way. But there are multiple solutions, but you got full control over that wallet. Nothing have to be implemented in the client side, so there's no hurdle there anymore. It's all done on your backend server. That saves a lot of time for the game developers that work on Unity and Unreal. And it works well with a single sign-on system. Like, let's say you let Web2 users use their Gmail or their Google account to sign up, right? And then you create a wallet. They already know that system. That will be so easy for them. So that's the interesting part. The cons are, players need to register, of course. They need to create an account, but that's not even a big con. And they need to trust the game developer, having control over their wallet. I don't think this will be a big issue. And the reason I said it's because they already trust Steam. They already trust Epic with lots of assets on there, right? They're not Web3 assets, but they have a lot of stuff and games in their account already with Steam. So if you just need to look trustworthy and have a trustworthy company behind it, right? So Gala Games, for example, most people will trust right now and just say, no, they're trustworthy. I'll just create an account and they create a wallet and it's fine, right? I don't have to even think about the wallet stuff. They need to think about it. So that's cool.
And a lot of times when you're creating a brand new wallet, even a user like me who's pretty meticulous about seed security, I have no problem trying out a game that creates a wallet for me. I just may not trust that wallet for any other assets other than those game assets, because that's where it came from. And so it all depends on what type of experience you're trying to cultivate. But I think that I totally agree with you here. I think that you really get a lot more control when introducing a solution like this. And when it comes to things like gas fees, you now have the ability to consider, okay, do I need to put all this on chain as it happens? Or can maybe I roll up everything that's happened in the last half hour, every half hour, or even every hour? Because if you don't have to worry about your users disconnecting in the middle of their game if you're storing all of the game progress data on your end and then publishing it to the chain once every hour. So long as your systems stay up, then you're in good shape. So, but that's just one idea off the top of my head of what you might do. There could be some other ways to implement that too.
Yeah, and all the options could be good options for your game, right? So the last option is most advanced and it seems like the most freedom for a game designer and to do the most crazy stuff and have the least troubles, right? Because it's all in your control. It's all in your backend. It's all in your control. You can fix it right away. There's no browser or extension or the mobile app that all the bugs you have or all the things are in your control, so you can mitigate those bugs far easier.
If a user loses their password or loses their seed phrase, you have it. Now, you do need to consider that under those situations, it may introduce different concerns for you as well. So make sure to pay attention to that. If the assets in your game become very valuable and all of a sudden you're in charge of all that value, how are you keeping that secure? It's just something you would want to consider.
Yeah, it feels also like it's a risk, how much risk want to take on, right? So maybe, let's say if I wanted to develop an indie game, it's maybe too much risk for me. But on the other hand, it's also maybe the best way to get successful with my game. So there's a clear, but you need to think about it, right? If people come from a Web3 background or a Web3 NFT project and you will want to build a game, especially for that community, a browser-based game or something makes the most sense, I think, right? Because they already got that system set up and you just can open the website. They already know most of the time your website, so that's easy to do. But for bigger studios and game studios, they're like, I need player accounts. I need easy onboarding. I need a lot of players, right? Even if you have multiplayer games, you need a lot of players to make it successful. You cannot, if you have 100 users that some of the time will be online, your game is going to be real empty. You could introduce bots, but most of the time they're not as fun as real players, right? So, if you want to go big, you need solution free makes the most sense here.
Now, what about options which in some ways combine elements of the two, like a magic link, for example? Now, how does that, and I'm kind of playing dumb here so that we can talk about it a little bit, but how does that fit into our 3 examples using something like magic?
That is example free. You create the wallet for the user, but it's done by a third party, right? So Magic Link is here just a third party, and you use that system. There are even different Magic Link. I think you have Fenly, that's a big one. Some game studios already use, and you can just create a wallet with an API or have the user set it up there and then connect it to your website, right? So you can mitigate that risk for, that's a good way to mitigate the risk for a smaller developer that says, okay, just go here, create the wallet there, and then you can connect it later. And then the game developer still has the power to control that wallet, right? Because the user will connect it and you have more control than you could do on the other options. So that's a good point, but it falls all under option 3, creating a wallet for the user. You could do it complete by code, of course, if you want to go that route and you're a developer that feels happy about it. Or you could do it with a third-party service providers. I think there are multiple right now, so that's a good solution there, Phil. Yeah,
perfect.
Yeah, cool. So our current system, we have a PlayFab tutorial up that already shows you how you could create a backend server with PlayFab and connect Moralis to it, right? So you have the Web 2 power with accounts already there, and then can add the Web 3 juice on top of it. I think it's very powerful, and we're still exploring what we can do more with it. But this seems, if you combine all these options, it's there's so much you could do for the user and have all control. So something to discuss with your team before you start and what makes sense. And I think in the long run, we'll get some more options here. But this seems like the most valuable ones.
I agree. Did we, I think at this point we should open up for questions. If there are any questions from the viewers. I'm noticing a couple of our leaders in the chat right now. I see Shiv, who helps out with our events and products team, and Joseph, the leader of our community engineers. Now, at least one of them we should see here in, or both of them maybe, in gather.town in just a little bit. So let me go over that here real quick. I'm going to share my screen. If you have yet to join us in gather.town, I encourage you to do so, as we like to have a little bit of a roundtable discussion there following these workshops. So right now I'm in our auditorium area. If you follow me out to the main area, then you'll see that we have a large table here inside our small building. So feel free to join me at this table following our live stream for open discussion regarding wallet security, wallets, integrating wallets with our dApps, or really anything to do with our development so far in this hackathon.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'll join if there's any questions there, and even broader topics. You want to discuss something, just Web3 game development, please give me a shout. Also on Twitter, you see my handle on the screen. It's just at Koen Rijpstra. It's a hard name to pronounce. But you can find me there. Ask me anything. I love the discussions about Web3. And I hope this will help you get on the right track, because not picking the right solution can burn you in the long run. And I hope our new tutorials make it easier for everybody to use the best systems, right? Moralis 2 is already out. We have a lot of things going on there that makes it even easy for smaller indie game developers to use the power of the big guys, right? And I think that's very powerful. And also for the big guys to use our systems in their already powerful solutions, right? It's up for everybody. And I hope I can show you a lot more in the upcoming months about how that system works and you can integrate. And I know you have a lot of questions there, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time, Kewan. I really appreciate you sitting with us to go over all these things, and because I feel like sometimes just the fundamentals of how we design our dApps get overlooked as we try to get quickly into implementation. So it's always useful to take a second step back and think in terms of strategy, right from the beginning there. So thank you so much for that, and I will look forward to seeing you and everyone else here in GatherTown in about 20 minutes. We're going to take a 20-minute intermission first, and then we'll see all of you there. Have a wonderful day. See you soon.
Thanks, Phil. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.